As Jesus talks with this Samaritan woman at the well, there's subtext all throughout it. They're talking about water, but they're not really talking about water. And they're talking about thirst, but not just thirst for water. About ache and the longing of the heart. As Jesus speaks to her, he uncovers her thirst and how she has come to resent it, actually. When he talks about this living water, she says, "Sir, give me this water so that I may not be thirsty or have to keep coming here to draw water." There's resentment in it. Like, you can tell she's sick of it. But it's not about the well. It's not about coming for water. It's about all the rest of her life. And she's sick of it, where her longing has gotten her. What does she thirst for? Love, home, communion. And she has taken a risk and been disappointed 5 times now. And she's come to a point where this is really tragic, where she will not try again. So instead she's settled for a cheap imitation, where the one that she's with is not her husband. She's lost hope. So it's understandable that she speaks of her thirst under the veil of the well. She speaks of it with bitterness. Because what has it brought her? Heartbreak, shame, suffering, rejection and abandonment, and now, very clearly, isolation. So she hates it. Just take a moment to notice your own thirst, the ache of your heart, the longing in you. We all have this all the time, okay? No matter what we do. You get somewhere, or you do something, and you want. You want more, or you want something else. You want to go somewhere, or you want to do something. Like, the ache that we're talking about, the thirst, very, very often it comes up as discontentment, like a little bit of restlessness. So like the gospel was pretty long today. Somewhere in the middle, did you notice your legs and say, "I would like to sit right now"? That's a form of thirst. Or maybe right now you're thinking about after Mass. Like what's gonna be the rest of the day? Or what are you gonna eat after this? That's thirst. It can be about the past, like it can be expressed in the form of regrets that we have for steps that we've taken, things that we've done, or it can be about past hopes that are in the past now and are never going to be realized, or disappointments where we hoped for something and we were let down. It can also be about the future. We dream a lot. We dream about different things, a certain job, amount of money, a house, vacation, relationship, marriage, children. Or we think of the people that we love, children, grandchildren, our families and friends, and we hope for what's good for them. Like we hope for a good future for them. Or we think about the relationships that we have and what we want to do with them. Like, I got to ask that person about this, or I should apologize for that, or this relationship isn't really where I want it to be. How do I deepen it? Or I'm upset that that person is upset with me. Or it can be as simple as problem solving, like thinking about gutters or your garden for the spring or something like that. Basically what we're looking for is like, we want more good and less bad. So the things that we think of are things that would bring more good to my life or remove some of the bad in it. And this is thirst. We think all day of happiness, actually, and everything that we do is a response to this thirst. We're trying to take steps toward it, to quench it, so that we don't thirst so much. So notice in your own self, you could probably name 100 things that your heart is drawn to, some very short term, some very long term, some really deep, some very simple. How do you treat the longing? Do you understand it for yourself as a gift or a curse? As a guide to good, or has it caused you harm? Do you pay attention to it, or is it sealed away behind big thick walls so that you don't hear it anymore? Here's the trouble with thirst. With our thirst, we are never satisfied. Never. It's never enough. And at best, we can get like a moment of bliss, and then it ends, and then we're thirsting again. Like that's as good as it gets. And when we thirst, it hurts. It's suffering. It's hunger. It's ache. So we want to deal with it. So what do? There's a bunch of bad ways to deal with this, really unhelpful, and in the end up pretty harmful and destructive ways that probably we've tried most of them. The first one, most obvious, is that we try the same thing again. It wasn't perfect happiness last time, but maybe this time, Try that with lasagna. You eat a lasagna, and it was almost there. Almost everything was fulfilled in you. So you say, maybe we'll just try that again. It doesn't have to be lasagna. It could be a lot of things. Sometimes it's sin. Sometimes it's not sin. But for a while, we just try the same things over and over again. Maybe that will be the thing. Maybe this time. And really, it's just a question of how many times do we do it before we realize this is not gonna do it. I still want more. Sometimes because of the pain that comes from this ache, the approach that we take is that we just want to escape it. We want to numb the pain. So there's all kinds of ways to do that, actually. Sometimes it's just binging. It's something as simple as binging a TV show. But then there are a lot more darker things. This is where a lot of vices and addictions come in. Alcohol or drugs, food or shopping, gambling, pornography, workaholism, like all of these things, they'll disassociate us so that we don't feel the emptiness, we don't feel the longing. And they work pretty good as long as you do it. And they tear your life to shreds in the meantime. Another way is if we can't find the right thing, then maybe it's about quantity, Like, one slice of pie. I'm going with food examples because they're universal and kind of tame, but like you put in the place of pie whatever you want to, whatever it is for you. Again, it doesn't even have to be a bad thing. It doesn't have to be sin. But one slice of pie did not fulfill my deepest desires. So how about a whole pie? Maybe you just need more of the thing. So we focus on consuming a great volume of it. That's one approach. The other one, or another one, which I would say is a lot of what is happening with the Samaritan woman, is that we come to a point of hopelessness about our longing. We give up trying to deal with our thirst. We become hopeless. And then what follows from that is that we end up condemning our hearts because they've caused us so much trouble, because they've led us into worse places. And sometimes it even goes along with this. We punish ourselves for our desire because for some reason, sometimes hurting ourselves makes the ache a little less. It can make us feel a little better. The last way that I'll name here is just that it's another form of like hopelessness. When we think, finally, I'm never gonna get what I want. I'll never have this thirst met. Then we end up just looking around at everyone else, and we imagine that they have the happiness that we want. Everybody in every commercial ever, except for severe to moderate ulcerative colitis. Those people are miserable. But every person in every commercial ever is pictured with perfect happiness. And if you met those people, they don't, Like they're scared and they're trying like the rest of us. But maybe because of advertising, maybe just because of the way that we work, we look around and we imagine that person has it and I will never get there. And so we envy them. We blame the world, the system, each other. We end up despising the world because it is built in such a way that I suffer. And we can even end up cursing the one who made us. So these are all like possibilities. These are all ways that have been tried to deal with the thirst that we all experience. In the scripture readings today, we got two very important things about God's relationship to our thirst. In the first reading, when the Hebrews are crossing the desert, they've just left slavery in Egypt. They've crossed the Red Sea. Egypt Pharaoh, all his chariots and army have been destroyed, and they're free. And now, in the desert, they say, has the Lord led us here just to die of thirst? Which, if you have ever left any sin behind, then you've probably experienced this. Like, I sinned because I liked that. Even though it was bad and harmful to me and others. So without that, then what am I left with? So they just ask, Lord, this is great that we're not slaves anymore, but are we just going to die of thirst in the desert? And this is the critical thing that comes from the first reading. We will not die of thirst. Okay, the thirst of our hearts will not destroy us, cannot destroy us. The whole problem with the Hebrews in the desert right here, the thing that the Lord solves, is not just their thirst, but their terror that it will lead to death. Okay, we get that too, for sure. When the thirst becomes intolerable and we just have to do something, then we do the thing that we said we wouldn't do, it's because we think maybe this will destroy us. How can we live like this? What the first reading says so clearly is that we will not die of thirst. And then in the gospel, when Jesus meets the Samaritan woman, it isn't just that Jesus is there and someone whose heart is longing randomly bumps into him. Instead, what happens in the gospel is that Jesus, the Savior of the world, comes to intentionally seek one who is thirsting. There's a different way to approach and to deal with, to handle and address the thirst of our hearts. If we believe what Jesus says, if we believe in who he is, then we can long and ache and desire and thirst in hope. What's strange about this, though, is that there's more joy in it, and the pain is stronger, it's sharper. The thirst doesn't go away, it gets more intense, actually. The desire of our heart burns, but we do it with patience and in peace and with many sighs. Only if we have any hope can we do these funny things like fast and abstain and give away the good things that we have. There is actually, you can find joy and contentment in longing, not in the removal of longing, because that's what it seems like. Doesn't that seem intuitive? The math just works out. I'm longing, so if I want to be content, I have to take away the longing, right? Either by satisfying it or by silencing it. This is the secret. There is more joy and peace in greater longing, not less. But this is only possible if we know how our thirst actually can be quenched. So Jesus comes seeking the thirsty ones at the well, who maybe resent their aching hearts on how they have to go back to the well every day. This is what he says: "Let anyone who thirsts come to me and drink." In a few weeks, we'll read the passion narratives and the account of Jesus' crucifixion. And there we will read, because Jesus was already dead, they did not break his legs. One of the soldiers took a lance and pierced his side and broke open his heart, and immediately flowed out from there blood and water.